Okay, so let's say you have four students that seem to be going to the restroom a lot, and you think it might be a great idea to keep a log of when they go and things like that, just for your records. I want to show you a quick way using a Google form and using Doc Appender. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into your Google Drive, and wherever you want within your Google Drive, you're going to create a folder that will house these. Okay, so let's say that I'm just right in here. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to just call it maybe frequent restrooms. Okay, something like that. Okay, then you're going to open this folder, and you're going to create a Google Doc for each student. Okay, now you can either call it their name or you can call it their ID number. If it's going to be you filling this out, then you can call it their name. If it's going to be a student that you're using this with, you might want to use their ID numbers. But this is for you. Okay, so let's say we just go ahead and go here to new Google Doc. Excuse me, new Google Doc, and it'll take a few seconds for each one, but you can do this a few different ways. But let's say the first one is Johnny. Okay, and you can do this a few different ways. You can come back here and do it again. New Google Doc. It'll open another one. Name it Sue. You get the idea, right? You can also, as long as you get these Google Docs created, blank docs, don't put anything in them. Okay. You could also do this, like you can go from one of these and just say File, make a copy, and it'll open a new one, and you can call Johnny, Sue, Edward. Okay. Say okay. I'm just going to do 3 this time for purpose of time. Okay. So you have just created 3 Google Docs. See, you can go ahead and close them up here. Okay. Okay. So you have just created 3 Google Docs. Okay. You create as many as you need to, but let's say that's it. Okay. Now, let's go to our Google Forms, and you're going to create a new form. Okay, you can just call it a blank form. Excuse me. Then you can kind of do this stuff. You're going to call it frequent restroom breaks, or restrooms, like whatever, if you want to stick to the same. Frequent restroom breaks. This is your form, okay, so it doesn't matter. So now you're going to start creating the form, okay. The first question that you want in here is you want it to have what student to choose from. So you need to first install this Google Form add-on, okay. The way you do it is you go up here to the 3 dots, go to add-ons, and you search for Doc Appender. And it looks like this. You click on it and you install it, okay? Mine already has it, but you'll know what to do, okay? Now what I'm going to do is right here for this question, I'm just going to say student, because from this question, I want to choose which student I'm going to be talking about. Now I'm going to go up to Doc Appender, click on it, and click on, oh Lord, here we go. All right, hold on. Doc Appender. Okay. Maybe do a refresh. Doing this to me the other day too. Okay, so I just refreshed. Let's see if it'll work now. Doc Appender. Yeah, open. I just refreshed the screen. If it's doing that to you, refresh the screen. Okay, open sidebar. And now here, you're going to tell Doc Appender, okay, first of all, you want to tell what folder you want it to look at. Okay, so you're going to say pick from Drive. And remember, we created a folder in our Google Drive. So I created it under my students. You go find it wherever you created it. Okay. We know we called it frequent restrooms. There it is. It found it. Okay. There are no items in this folder. That's okay. Right now, just click on. Oh, excuse me. Frequent restrooms. Okay, all I did was I don't open it, okay? I don't open the folder, I just highlight it by clicking on it and click select. See, it selected frequent restrooms, okay? Now we click next. And it says which question do you want it to go with? we want it to go with student question. This is our question that says student. We want it to go with that question, okay? And then we click Save and Populate Selected Question. What it's going to do, if you notice, it looked at your Google Drive and saw the 3 folders that you have, or excuse me, the 3 Google Docs that you have created. You didn't enter these, it saw them, okay? Now you click Next, okay? And it says, what form values do you want added to that document on Form Submit, okay? You probably want a timestamp. You want to know what date and time. That's the most important thing. Username is who they're logged in as. Student, I mean, it's just up to you which ones you want to use, okay? And then what do you want that Google Doc to look like? Do you want it separate bulleted lists, separate vertical tables, or rows in a single horizontal table? For these purposes, I'm going to show rows in a single horizontal table. You can mess with the other ones if you want to, and then click Enable. All right, and now we can just close this, and let's see what it does, okay? Let's open it, and let's say you know that a student went to the restroom again, one of these 3, so all you do, pull up this Google form real quick, and click on which one, like Edward, and click Submit. Now let's go back over here to our Edward file, and it was a blank page. When you open it, because you submitted that form, you're gonna notice a row right here. It says what time, who it was me logged in, so that's who's, it would have gotten, it would have gotten Edward's username and the student, okay, that was chosen. Okay. Now watch what happens if Edward went again in 30 minutes, okay, you say Edward went again, submit, and you're going to notice back over here on Edward's Google Doc, after a few seconds, unless you can refresh the page, but after a few seconds it does it itself, it adds another row. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty much what this does. Now, you can add more fields to this. Right now I just had student and that's it. Okay, you could do more. You can also add comments, okay? And we can just call this paragraph. This is for you. And you could say something, or you can add that there. And now, if we were to go look at it, you say it was Edward and says he has had a stomach ache all morning long. Okay, and let's go over here to see what it does differently. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything from here and make it a blank page again. Okay, and here we go. We'll submit it. And let's go look at what Edward's Google Doc looks like when it refreshes. Okay, we have the timestamp, the username. Oh, excuse me, I know what happened. All right, we're gonna have to go back here, and if we add something like this, okay, we're gonna have to go back to our Doc Appender and change the settings. I'm gonna have to open the sidebar. Okay, we're still going from the same folder in our Google Drive, and it's asking which question. Refresh the list. Oh, okay, save and populate selected question. Next. Right here, you want to tell it also include comments. So if you go add another question, you'll have to do this, okay? You'll have to go through Doc Appender and add it again, okay? We're going to leave it at rows in a single horizontal tab. Hit Save Changes. All right. Now we can close this, and let's go try it again. Before we fill it out, let's go back to Edward's sheet. Oh, okay, it should be blank. Let's go back to Edward's sheet, or let's go back now and try it again. It was Edward, and we noticed that, let's make sure we're on the right one. Here we go. It was Edward, and we noticed says he had a bellyache, and submit. Now let's go look at Edward's Google Doc. Usually takes a few seconds. There it is. So, I mean, this is a super awesome way to be able to keep a log. And if we were to go do it again, all it will do is Edward, another tummy ache, submit. And all it'll do to Edward's Google Doc is keep on appending it. That's why they call it Doc Appender. It'll just keep on adding something. So there's tons of stuff you can use for this. I'm sure you have even better ideas. You can use it for kids who go to GCS. That's what I do. If kids go to GCS, just so I have a record of them going, I have them fill out the form from my website. It's called GCS Checkout, and all they do, it's a very simple form. All they do is choose their ID number. I didn't use their name because they're the ones going to be seeing this, and we don't want them to see other kids' names. So they choose their ID number, and they click Submit, and it adds the time and date that they went to GCS. So there's a bunch of ways to use this, but I hope you enjoyed this. All right.